Right then, this is a quick road test video for a car registered GY03RZW. It's a Toyota Previq 2.4 CDX, I believe. Mileage at the start of the road test is 189,073 miles. The reason we do these videos is really for cars like this. Predominantly, I do lots of my videos and the cars we're selling, and they're obviously cars we've bought for stock, and we know they're going to drive well, but the video is just for a bit of reassurance. Sometimes we take a car as part exchange, as with this one, and whilst in some ways it's good, there's going to be a couple of things I just want to point out in the car, but I'm going to do exactly the same road test as I do as if it was any other car, in all honesty. So starting with the engine, it's done lots of miles. It starts instantly and settles to a completely smooth, even idle. Very smooth when it starts up, no clonks, no rattles, no smoke, nothing really, just typical Toyota engineering, of course, but given the fact the car, I think, has been serviced 19 times, it's been very, very well maintained. No warning lights on the car at all, that's an operation. Temperature gauge, you're looking at that, just about a third, so again, that's exactly what it's meant to be on a Toyota car. Gearbox in the car, obviously automatic. Toyota always do good automatics, and this is no different. It's a lovely gearbox, very smooth shifting, still is. When you engage drive from rest, there's no great sort of clonks and thunks as it engages, and all the gears selecting very, very nicely. So the main mechanicals, so the engine, gearbox, seem to operate very, very nicely indeed. Moving on to the steering and chassis of the car. Steering, it's actually nicely weighted on these. You know, these are sort of straight line cars really. All it goes around corners perfectly well. Track's nice and straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed that I've noticed up to the legal limit. Put it in here a sec. So coming on to the suspension, and this is basically the only thing of any note that I've found on the car, and that's the honest answer. And it's also why the car's been sold on the basis it is. So, so basically driving along, and it's not bad. It has a little bit of a suspension knock from the front end of the car. Driving along smoothly now, you won't hear it. It could be drop links, it could be ball joint, it could be a thousand different things in terms of what it might be. We've not investigated it. We're not going to investigate it. The car has been sold at a price, less than £1,000 for one of these is very cheap, because I know for a mortal fact that aside from the driver's seat, which is the tiniest amount of wear on it, all the other seats are pretty much perfect, from what I can see. Engine, gearbox, all the bits that go with the car, it's worth way more sold as spares, split down. It should seem barbaric, but it might be what needs to be done, or it will require repairs. Repairs being, in this case, the obvious is just a bit of suspension noise. It's got a long MOT. It had welding done at the last service, and there is rust on the car. I can see there's a rear panel. I can see a bubble on the rear wheel arch. There's clearly going to be rust underneath the car. Again, we don't know the extent, but the fact they did have welding on the last MOT suggests that was done to make it good. It may need more in the future, but again, not something we're aware of. But driving the car, it actually feels really nice and tight on the road. Drives very, very nicely. Suspension, obviously, it's one of the most comfortable cars I've ever driven. It just smothers out the road beautifully. But as I said, it still goes through corners okay. It doesn't, it's not a sports car, but it flows through reasonably well unless you really push on ridiculously hard. Brakes on the car are excellent. No pulsing, no vibrations, all absolutely spot on. Then coming inside, which it said we've not cleaned it. This is exactly as you see it, but it's been kept very, very nicely in here. It won't be cleaned, it'll just be left exactly as it is, because I don't want to try and hide things or make things look glossier than they are. But it all seems to work very well. You've got twin sunroofs, you've got electric windows, which are all working on the car. Likewise, I'll try the wind mirrors, not tried those actually. That one works perfectly well. It needs adjusting anyway, so just while I'm doing it. And that one works perfectly well as well. So they work. radio's working fine, air conditioning pumping out absolutely ice cold air, dual climate control panel there all lit up, but it all seems to work absolutely fine. So, you know, coming back to the original point of the video, it is to show any issues with the car, and all I can hear on slightly pitted roads is a little bit of suspension noise. It sounds like it's coming from the front of the car. Acoustically, it could be from the back, could be from the front, could be both, but that's as much as I can find on the car, because in other ways it drives very, very nicely indeed.